Welcome back to the Dirty Pat Walsh channel on YouTube. Sitting right here, I have my friend Ross. Now, Ross, I'm going to ask you, now I've pronounced your name in videos before, but I know I pronounced it wrong. So how do you pronounce your last name?
Anglicized, Gertain.
Gertain?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
En français, I suppose, like real thick accent, which I rarely hear. Gertain or something like that, you know? Like,
nice.
Something like that.
Nice. I was saying it like Gertin or something like that. I'm really bad. I mean, no offense.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So go through that again. What's the common?
Gertain.
Gertain. It's like Martin.
Yeah.
You know Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How old are you?
38.
You're 38. Okay, we're 10 years apart. All right. Ross was very kind and brought me a can of Canadian Copenhagen Straight. This is a fucking top shelf dip. This is fucking, out of what you can get in Canada, this is right on top. And I can't believe, thank you so much for this, Ross. It's very generous of you.
I just pointed at that one.
You said that one. That's good. That's the way to go. But yeah, Ross has never had a dip of snuff before. And now luckily he's a smoker. So it's not going to knock his dick in the dirt. But I wouldn't want to make you sick. And if at any point you feel like you need to spit it out, just spit it out. I want you to be comfortable. I just want you to experience it. So, okay.
Honored to, lose my virginity.
I think it's fun. And I'll promise not to treat you like we did when I was 14 and I got into it, because that was horrifying. So we're going to crack this can. And every dipper knows the best sound is this. Oh yeah. It's John Cage's birthday today. So this can crack goes out to John Cage and his sense of musicality. Are you a John Cage fan, Ross? Do you know John Cage? Composer?
Heard
the name?
Heard the name.
Experimental composer. He was...
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
Crazy fucking dude. He wrote this piece of music called 4 foot 33 inches. It's basically 4 minutes and 33 seconds of a piano player sitting at a piano timing himself. And it's silence, right? But it's beautiful. It's amazing. Anyhow, so I'm gonna go through Ross. I'm gonna show him how to dip. Okay. So we just cracked our can. Now this is a fresh can, and you don't really need to pack it. Now when you pack a pack of smokes, you kind of pack it like that, right? And that works for this, but this isn't a pack of smokes. The way you pack a can of dip is you kind of hold it in your hands like that, and you slap your finger on it. And that makes all the dip kind of settle, and you can pinch it out better. Now, the way I prefer to pack a can is I do a side pack, where you take your fingers like this, and you pack it like that. And this comes from dipping snuff when I was a kid, because that's the way you pack a can of snuff. So, like the fine cut snuff. So, we're going to crack this baby open. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is a perfect can of snuff, Ross. This is fucking fresh as shit.
It's encouraging.
Smell that. What do you think? What's your initial reaction to that?
Yeah, that was a swallow,
It's kind of intense?
Yeah, it's intense. Yeah.
Now, what does it smell like to you? I told you what I thought it smelled like, but what does it smell like to you?
Kind of like an old leather-bound book.
Yep. Okay, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, straight. It's weird, because this is like the mystery thing. It's like, why do they call it straight? Like, what's straight about it? What does it taste like? Nobody knows. Every brand makes a straight kind of dip, but nobody really can pin it, what it tastes like, right? So we're going to try it out. So the way you do it is you just take your fingers and you take a wad out like that, and you put it in your lip. like that. Now, I'm going to kind of arrange it with your tongue. Now, I would suggest you take a pinch about half the size.
Oh, yeah. Tiny little one. All right.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
I'll start small.
That's a perfect size pinch.
All right.
Yeah. And you
Right
just put it between your cheek and gum. Yeah. And your lip. Wherever's comfortable. It'll probably be pretty intense if you've never tasted it before. See what I mean? When you're able to talk, what's your initial reaction?
It's almost salty and peppery.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of salt in it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That does just act as a preservative for it? Or?
What the salt does, okay, as a cook, if you're like, when you cook things, you add salt because it makes them taste better, brings out, the flavor and stuff. That is one of the purposes. It makes it taste better. And it also it's abrasive on your gums. So that's how the nicotine kind of gets into you. There was a big myth in the 90s that fiberglass was put into dip. So it would like rip your gums up, and that's how the nicotine got in, right? But if there was fiberglass in it, like you would be bleeding all the time, right? It's ridiculous. There's definitely no fiberglass in dip. I've argued this with people many times, But there is salt crystals,
Okay.
And that's why it tastes kind of salty, and that's how the nicotine gets in your system, When you have chewing tobacco, there's not as much, like chewing tobacco, Red Man in a bag, you know what I mean? You ever seen that? Okay, well, another type of smokeless tobacco that you can get is just called chewing tobacco. And it's like a bag of rough cut leaves that you chew on. You just take a wad of them, you put them in your cheek, and you chew on them. And it's very low in nicotine, and it's not very salty, you know what I mean? That's the difference. This stuff is stronger. You don't chew on it. You just let it sit in your mouth. You spit out. You spit when you need to. Whenever you need to spit, feel free to spit in this. You will need to. You do not want to swallow the spit. And that's what it's all about. That's an old school spittoon sent to me by Hillary Thompson. So thanks, Hillary.
Cheers,
Hillary sends me a lot of dip from the States. See what I mean? And yeah, it just like, and that's how you dip, and that's what you do. And if you smoke, it shouldn't affect you that much if you have a nicotine tolerance. You know what I mean? If you don't smoke the first time you dip, you're probably gonna puke. You know what I mean? And that's what we did when we were kids. We'd just see how big a wad we could take, or how big a line, like the nasal snuff, how big a line we could do. Take a McDonald's straw and fucking do it like Coke, right? But yeah, I really wanted to do that, to how you experience your first dip. I was gonna start on this stuff, this cherry stuff, but since you brought this over, then this is probably a better way to go.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah,
thanks for the intro. That's initiated.
We do dip reviews here on Dirty Pat Walsh Show.
Oh, yep, just swallowed that.
Oh no, don't swallow it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so this might be a bit of a longer video. Luckily, I can do longer videos now. But I just want to ask you some general questions about why we are sitting here together in Sound Kitchen Studio. How did this is the first time we've met, but how did we meet? How do we know about each other? I know you're a part of the music group in Facebook, the Warehouse of Strangers group, and you told me you used to come see the Silverhearts play. But that's really all I know. So what do you know about me?
I had to ditch that.
That's all right.
Thanks.
No. Thanks for trying, man.
Oh.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, so I had come to Peterborough in 2000. I was a student at Trent University for a couple of years, and some friends of mine at the time, I was ignorant. We used to follow. We'd go where the hot spots. We went to the Purple Rooster, and places like that, the Trashiteria, and although the Pig's Ear Tavern was one place that we would go to mostly on Wednesdays.
That was a great bar, man. Pig's Ear.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And one day they said we're going to the Montreal House, and you should come along. There's this band. They play instruments, bizarre instruments like a theremin, saw, big sousaphone like instrument, and follow the boys. Yeah, let's go check it out. And then walk in, and these guys are just playing their hearts out, like real music. And
thanks, man.
It was, and they, it was a really eye-opening experience. One who was, it sort of shaped my view on music.
That's awesome.
Always sort of remembering that experience. And I'd gone back a few times to see them on my own. And in recent years, I've traveled back to Peterborough exclusively to see the Silverhearts. And so I initially recognized Pat from the Silverhearts. Although this is, like he said, our first meeting.
Yeah. I'm honored you came out and saw us play, man, and I'm honored that you would say what you just said. That's by the way, I'm not fishing for compliments or nothing like that. I'm just curious to know what. I'm just always curious to know what brings people together.
I've tried to push, or not push, but introduce the Silverhearts to friends, and they're like, oh no, yeah, well, that's interesting, that's nice, and then that's it. Yeah. Here I am, the Silverheart. Oh, yes, I know who the Silverhearts are. Actually, so to actually meet one in person.
Am I the only Silverheart you've met? That can't be true.
No, I've met Trevor.
Yeah.
He had reserved a ticket for me one night.
Nice.
And in exchange, I'd given him and the band a bottle of whiskey.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, we were big whiskey drinkers, that's for sure.
I was grateful for the opportunity to see them that night, so...
Nice.
I wanted to let them know, and one of the newer members, Jay.
Jay's a great musician.
Oh, man.
He's a fantastic musician. He kind of took my role. He plays the harmonica now.
Yeah.
With them, so.
Yeah.
He's a better harmonica player than me, too. So, it's all good. I'm curious to know, since I left the band, now when I was in the Silverhearts, we were a big band. We were like 12 people.
I remember that.
Very, like you said, very eclectic instrumentation, sousaphone, theremin, we had accordion, a saw, all kinds of crazy stuff. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of everything that happened because that's a whole fucking book on its own. But when the band split, there was, like, when I left the band, it was kind of synonymous with about half of the band leaving the band, okay? And the people that remained were Trevor, Wyatt, the two Jays, the drummer Jay and Jay Swinnerton. And and they got some new members. They got some new horn players and stuff. I don't remember. But no, I remember, okay, the last album we recorded was kind of an album of our fan favorites called Golden Favorites. And I thought, this is going to be the record that makes us, this is going to be our breakthrough record. And we recorded it. And right after it got it was in the process of getting put out, is when the band split. So when the CD came out, they couldn't perform the music the way it was on the CD because most of those members weren't even there. You know what I mean? So now when I was watching the Facebook, I notified because I try to keep in touch or whatever, and a notification came up that the Silverhearts were having their CD release party in Owen Sound. There was a live stream, right? So I listened. I watched it, and I really wanted to like it, because it's my old band, right? I don't have hard feelings. It's all water under the bridge, and I wanted to really like it, and I couldn't. I didn't, because it just sounded like the original band members with a bunch of horns over top of it, it sounded muddy. It didn't have the eclectic instrumentation we had. It just sounded like kind of like a band, like a normal, like still a 6-piece band, but it wasn't what it was. Now, so I was kind of disappointed. I was like, man, I really wanted to like that, Now, recently, Wyatt posted a video of them playing a song we used to do, like really recently, and it sounded amazing to me. I was like, fuck, they sound good. They sound good again, It's not what it was. Like, it's not the same band it was, but it sounded good, But what's your take on the evolution of the Hearts? Like, because you've obviously seen the band from back in the day, Montreal House days, to very recently, probably. So what have you noticed about and I'm not looking for trash talk or anything like that. I'm just like curious on how you've seen the band evolve.
Well, most recently, the last time I saw them was in April at the Red Dog. I traveled down to see them, and I've noticed this in more recent years that there's fewer of I'll call them the original members, like my ignorance, but and to see them not there, but to know how the band used to sound, and you can still, and listening to the CDs, that you can still hear the ghost of sounds that aren't there anymore.
Nice. Well, that's kind of cool.
But as far as the musicianship goes, now it's still there.
They're great musicians.
Unreal,
the people in the four people, the band right now is comprised of four of the four original members. There was 5 original members, but the bass player isn't with them anymore. So it's Wyatt, Trevor, Charlie, and Jay the drummer. 4 of the original members. And Jay Swinnerton's picked up a lot of slack. Like, he's taken the role of a lot of people. He's a fantastic musician. He's one of the best musicians I've ever met. They are fantastic musicians. I cannot, I spent 16 years playing in that band, and I'm the guy who introduced Trevor and Charlie. Like, that's how the band started. I introduced Trevor and Charlie in a drunken mishap. Oh. and because it's a long story, but it's a happy mistake, right? And the Silverhearts formed out of that, and it was so beautiful and wonderful, and we did everything. We toured everywhere and met, I did stuff I wouldn't have dreamt of, So there's certainly no hard feelings with the Silverhearts at all. So yeah, the only reason I'm asking is because I'm interested to. Yeah, I'm just interested to know, because I know that's why we're sitting here now. It's basically because of the Silverhearts. But
I'm trying to think the last time that I saw you perform with them. I know they'd come down to Kingston, where I'm from, and they played at a festival they have there every summer called the Skeleton Park Music Festival.
Yeah.
And it was a daytime performance, and I'm trying to remember if you were there.
I'm not sure if I was or not.
This Tom.
Yeah.
He was there, and last couple of times I've seen the band, he's not been there. And I think later that night they had performed at you guys had performed at the Toucan, a small little bar. And my I wanted to go, but it was girls' night, so my girl, my wife had gone, and her friends. But anyway, they took a picture, and I didn't think to look at the picture before.
I was out of the band at that time.
Okay.
I remember that happening, but I was out of the band at that time. Yeah. We had some good times in Kingston, though, man. Dan Aykroyd played with us in Kingston.
Ah, man. Yeah, I heard you tell that story.
Yeah.
And
I traded harps with him. We played, he broke 2 of my harps. Blew them flat. It was funny. He was a monster, though.
Oh, man.
He was a monster to play with. He was like, because he's big and fat now, right? Like, he's a big man, but he can play like a mother. He's Elwood Blues, right?
Elwood Blues.
And he can play like he played in the Blues Brothers. He can sing. He's amazing. He didn't need a monitor, but he's doing the fucking Elwood dance. Like he's doing the fucking high stepping, high shuffling fucking thing. Doing the whole routine, right? And the stage is just fucking boom, boom, up and down, it's like, I remember Mike, our steel guitar player, he was playing dobro, and the stage was rocking so hard, the dobro fell out of his hands, like it flew out of his hand. I think it hit him on the head. But it was a phenomenal experience, man. Kingston was all... Now, granted, during that performance, our hotel room got robbed. Oh. They stole all our manager's money and a bottle of whiskey. That was all they got, though, But it was still a drag. But Kingston was always I love Kingston, man. It's a cool city. It's an expensive city.
Yeah, it's expensive. They're doing a lot of renovations down there. Unfortunately, one of the greater guitar shops has just closed its doors.
I know the one.
Kingston
I know the
shop.
one. Oh, man.
Like Gord Milks.
Fuck. That was a nice shop, man.
Unreal.
Nice shop.
I bought 3 guitars from that place. And, I don't know what they're going to put down there now. But and most recently, one of the record shops.
They closed too?
Well, Brian's Record Option, you could walk in there, stacks upon stacks of records and CDs and books, and you'd have to, thousands and thousands of records and books and posters and CDs, and you ask them, I'm looking for the Ramones or whatever, and okay, go down that aisle. It should be about 3. You knew where everything was.
That's amazing,
Brian. And last weekend, it's debatable. I don't know all the facts, but anyways, the place had flooded.
I heard about that. I heard about that on the news. The record store flooded in Kingston.
Flooded, just absolutely destroyed the place, and he's got, but just a wealth of support behind him, and their benefit concerts.
Nice.
Donations.
Nice. Good.
People are reaching out, and we'll see what happens.
You got to keep that stuff alive, like record stores are, like, it's funny because in this day and age, any music you want, you can come here on YouTube and find it, right? Anything. Records that I searched for relentlessly as a teenager for a decade and didn't find. Now I can just punch it in. It comes right up. You know what I mean? All the music's there. So record stores are dying out. Like music shops are dying out. But the cool thing is real record stores, like the real record stores, like the ones like you just said, you know, or Blue Streak Records or whatever. They're like getting cooler. You know what I mean? Like, because that stuff's just a lot cooler now, you know, and it's harder to find, right? So I don't know. I'm glad to see record stores becoming real record stores again. But it's also a shame because, like, as a musician who records, you know, I can't sell records anymore. You know, I can give them away, and I'm happy to give them away. But the time has changed. Like, it's not like, you know, when I was a kid and growing up, we were trained, you know, as a musician, like you thought, I'm going to grow up, going to make records in a studio, going to make records, you know, or cassettes or whatever, you know. It's going to be cool. And then when the time came that I was able to do all that stuff, it changed so fast. And now it's like all digital downloads, and it's just, the game is completely changed. It's like, you know, you can't, it's hard to sell records now. Like, it's really hard to sell a hard copy record, you know. It's not hard to get someone to download your record for free, you know, and that's cool. But it's changed. The game has changed. Getting all depressing here on the Dirty Pat Walsh channel. But this video is getting long. We're almost at a half hour, so I should close it off. But thank you so much, Ross, for vlogging with me here.
Thanks
and
for
trying
having
to
me
dip
today,
a
Pat.
snuff. We're going to do more stuff. We're just going to close this vlog off. You got to help me with the the Sunday gospel song of the day. If that's cool with you. You good with that?
Good with
Okay.
that.
All right. We're going to close this off and work on the gospel song. So be well, stay free, and thank you to Ross for showing up and for bringing a can of the fucking best dip in Canada. And we'll see you soon.